Hello again and welcome back to the PhatPhish Guitar Studio. I'm Dave and this is another video in the series What's That Guitar? Taking a look and listen to the various guitars that you've got to see hanging up on the wall in the studio here, and see me and hear me playing on YouTube videos and whatnot. And today it's a bit of a special one. It's probably, I think, the best guitar in my collection. It's this one. It's the Williams Evo Artist. I say the best guitar in my collection. You know, all of the guitars I've got have something a little bit special about them, something that they bring to the collection that the other guitars don't. But this one, it's got a quite special place in my heart. I'll kind of give you the backstory to it. It was built for me a few years ago now by Hayden Williams over at Williams Guitars in the north of England. Proper north of England, don't mean Manchester, I mean up in the North Pennine, sort of near Carlisle. A friend of mine, sort of a mutual friend, put me on to Hayden because I had an interest in getting a custom guitar built. I've got custom guitars. I had my Thompson at the time. I've since got the custom shop Strat, but I had a particular thing in mind with this one, in that I had this piece of wood, the top that's used for the guitar, not a particularly common timber to use in guitar construction, was actually made out of teak. Because many years ago, I came upon a huge slab of Burmese teak. Originally, the teak had been a laboratory bench at the local university. A relative of mine had got hold of that when they were refitting the labs. It was just going to be ditched. So he got that. He made a coffee table out of it. So it's a big old thing. Then when he moved house, when he retired, the house he moved to was too small, and he had this lump of wood. I thought, yeah, I'd take that off your hands. I kind of had hankering to get a guitar made from it. So I went over to see Hayden, and this guitar basically is based on one of Hayden's like stock series of instruments called the Evo, which is like the Super Strat. It's like the evolution, if you like, of the Strat. So it's nothing to do with Steve Vai, Ibanez Gem Evo. It's just like Evo as an evolution. So he did the Evo and the Evo Pro at the time, and I said, look, I've looked at your guitars. I kind of fancy getting one of these made, but I want a teak top, which I realised is going to be kind of difficult to work with because teak is a very hard, very oily wood. It's not particularly kind on woodworking instruments. But I'd really like to use this piece of teak as part of a guitar. I like the Evo, so we kind of took some ideas backwards and forwards. I played a few guitars that he had in the workshop and tried a few ideas, and we came up with this. And this was actually the first carved top Evo that he did, and that kind of became another one of his standard lines, so that you can get the Evo Pro, or the Evo Artist, which is the carved top version. So the specs on this: it's a mahogany body with the teak top. It's a 5-piece maple and teak neck, so you can see on the back there, it's maple neck with some teak stripes to kind of keep the teak theme going through it. Lovely bird's eye maple fingerboard with teak dots on it, and some binding in teak, and the teak face on the headstock. Now, the guitars that Hayden makes, all the guitars of his that I've played there, the quality is just absolutely outstanding. He's real attention to detail, really fine craftsman, and really understands what makes a guitar work well. And he's got lots of experience, decades of experience as a guitar builder, and it all kind of shines through here. So the wood's all beautifully carved and jointed and so on, but there's a few features on here which I kind of take the guitar up to the next level for me. First of all, choice of hardware. The bridge here is a Wilkinson VS100. It's actually made by Goto, so it's the Wilkinson design made by Goto. It's beautifully performant trem. It's much more performant than a regular Strat trem, but it doesn't have any of the locking paraphernalia that you would get with something like Floyd Rose. 2 post knife edge design, but inside those posts there's some grub screws that go down to actually make contact with the inside of the post, make contact with the guitar body, so every last ounce of resonance inside the body is picked up, so it's a very lively guitar to play. The neck joint, it's a bolt-on neck, beautifully carved away. 3 bolts, and these are bolts. You know, a lot of times we talk about guitars like Telecasters and Stratocasters as having a bolt-on neck. Really, the neck is just screwed on, the wood screws. What we've got here inside the neck, there are little like threaded receivers, and these are bolts that go through, so you've got metal to metal contact. Really captures the vibration in the wood and keeps the guitar alive. Also, in terms of hardware, we've got a graphite nut at the top and some staggered locking Goto tuners. So very good tuning stability. It's a really well designed trem, low friction at the nut. Locking tuners always help with tuning stability, so it's a really reliable guitar. The other thing I'll mention about the neck joint, inside here there is actually like a loose tenon. There's like a piece of wood at right angles there, so that stops any danger of lateral movement at the neck joint. So it's a really strong, really super stable guitar. In terms of electronics, fairly straightforward. I'm just going to go onto the clean channel for this so you can hear how they sound. We've got a Seymour Duncan JB at the bridge and Seymour Duncan Jazz at the neck. Really simple controls: volume control here, a tone control, and 3-way blade switch. Caden did offer me options like 5-way switches, so I could do coil splitting or pickups in parallel or in series, but I thought no, I just want something nice and straightforward. So we've got the bridge pickup on its own. That's a nice, bright, clear sounding pickup. The neck pickup, the Jazz, is probably my favourite neck pickup. It just sounds absolutely glorious. Absolutely love that. The neck pickup on its own on a clean channel, one of my favourite guitar sounds. And the 2 pickups together, lovely. So you're hearing that just on the clean channel on the amp with a little bit of delay and a little bit of reverb. And where this really comes into its own is with a bit of drive. So let's flick over to the dirty channel on the amp with a little bit of overdrive from what we've got. It's a Frederick Effects Golden Eagle in the front. Bridge pickup on its own. Neck pickup. And both pickups together. So it's a beautifully versatile guitar. Works with overdrive pedals, works with a dirty amp, works with clean sounds. I absolutely love it. Like I say, it's probably I think it's the best guitar that I own in terms of, it's like a supercar, if you like. You know, every like detail has kind of been finessed out. It's incredibly performant. It's actually quite a skinny neck. You know, quite a I guess what you call like a speed neck. I've played thinner, but I've played much chunkier. Possibly not my favourite neck profile, but on this guitar it just works really well. It's probably the best fretwork I've had on a guitar. Nice rolled edges on the frets, just super comfy to play. You can get a nice low action, but still enough to be able to really dig in with bends and you know, and make the notes sing. It's an interesting guitar in that I've talked about this before, where you have a moment where you realise that you've bonded with a guitar, where you pick up a guitar and you think, oh, this is lovely, and for all you think, yeah, you really like that guitar, there is a moment, it might be a few days or maybe even a few weeks after you get it, where you're playing it and you soon realise, yeah, this is something like the little switch is flicked and suddenly, yeah, I've now bonded with this guitar. I live here now. This just feels right. This is one of the few guitars I haven't kind of had that moment, because I just kind of I did instantly bond with it in a wonderful way, and it took ages for like the honeymoon period of the new guitar honeymoon period to wear off. I just played this to death when I got it. As you can tell, I just absolutely adore this guitar. It's interesting. Like I say, Hayden does a lot of very, very high quality work. All of the guitars of his that I've played are top notch materials. He picks some gorgeous woods, excellent finishes, good electronics, and all that sort of stuff. But they're put together like it's a bit of a cliche to say like Rolls Royce quality. It's just spot on. And the thing that gets me is they're still so accessible, if that makes sense. I've played some other guitars. I don't want to name names because I don't want it to sound like a derogatory statement. It's not meant to be. But some of like the high end, really good quality woods, really classy guitars. There's something about them I find they're sometimes just a little bit sterile. They're almost like there's something about them like they're too good, or the manufacturer's just trying that just a little bit too hard. This has still got all of that quality and that attention to detail, but it's just, I find it incredibly accessible. And just when I picked it up, I was like, yeah, this is such a comfortable guitar to play. I love the sounds. I love the way it feels. I just want to sit down and play this guitar all the time. It wasn't cheap, but I've had far more expensive guitars than this. I've played significantly more expensive guitars than this, so I still consider this, as a working instrument. It was pretty good value, and I kind of got a bit of a buzz out of being able to make use of that piece of timber that had squirreled away, that had been at one point been a coffee table, and before that it had been a lab bench. And the experience of working with a custom luthier was quite interesting, because we kind of went to Hayden with a basic spec, played some of his guitars, and said, yeah, I like the neck on this Evo that you've got, I want these pickups. And we specified the woods. He came up with some options, and then as we went through the process, he was saying, I've had an idea. You weren't going to bind the neck, but I've got this fingerboard that just looks absolutely gorgeous. It was a little bit too narrow for the neck. I don't want to compromise on the neck profile. How about we put some binding on? And we just kind of evolved the design a little bit, and that was really, really nice. So it's not, like I say, not a cheap thing to do, but getting a custom instrument it's quite a nice experience, and you can get something that is it feels right for you, and you can get something that probably you wouldn't get off the shelf. Certainly I wouldn't be able to go and buy a teak-topped guitar off the shelf, or it's not a particularly nice wood to work with, I gather. So some of the cost of this, well, I think was like replacement router bits and saw blades and whatnot, because it was going to take quite a toll on Hayden's tools when he was building the guitar. So there you go. What's That Guitar today is the teak top custom Evo Artist from H.J. Williams Guitars. Hope you found that interesting. If you did, please click like down there. If you really enjoyed it and you want to see some other videos that I post onto the channel, then please click subscribe, which is also down there. You're welcome to leave a comment, but if you've got a specific question you want to ask me, whether it's about guitars, guitar playing, music theory, anything like that, I don't always see the comments that are left on YouTube videos, so you're probably better off if you go here, fill that form in, send your question in that way. I'm guaranteed to see it and then get around to answering your question in a future video. Okay, that's all for now. Thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.